welcome. You're watching Medically Speaking on NewsX. This is a special show where we talk about everything health. When we talk of health these days, the first thing which comes to anyone's mind, of course, is the coronavirus. When we speak of COVID, there are a lot of aspects attached to it. Vaccination, and of course, the impending third wave. The fear of third wave is looming. What are we supposed to do to prevent or rather safeguard ourselves from COVID this festive season? And how can the government really improve as far as the vaccination drive is concerned? To discuss this, we have the IMA chief, Dr. Jayalal, with us. Hello, sir. Thank you for joining us on Medically Speaking. My first question.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Thank you, sir. The IMA has time and again warned the state governments and even the central government against festivities. Recently, you reached out to the Kerala government. You had very vociferously told them not to go ahead with the Bakrid celebrations, clearly to no avail. What will be your first reaction to those state governments or perhaps even people who are going ahead with festivities thinking that perhaps the second wave is over and we have a short window to celebrate?
Yeah, democracy always lives by popularity. So any democratic elected government, they want to be more focused on the populistic measures than really on the economy and the health of the individual. In the society in which we are living and in this era, especially on the COVID pandemic, the health of an individual is prime concern or the important than anything else. The life to live is the most priority. If the government is not doing appropriate things for that and going behind the populist message, I think they are not doing that job what is expected of the government. So it brings shocks and anguish in our mind when we are seeing such a catastrophic crowding events are being permitted and augmented by the government, and either in the form of an election, either in the form of a religion, either in the form of any other mass get-together. So that was why, but Indian Medical Association feels that we have a tremendous role to play the role of an advocacy so that we will be able to tell them what is right and how they have to mend their ways to bring a safety and security of our humankind in this country.
Right. And so what will you say about the Kerala government? Again, as I said, at the cost of reiteration, the IMA very vociferously asked the Kerala government not to go ahead with Bakrid celebrations. Also, if you look at, Himachal and other states, the number of tourists which are flocking to hill stations also had peaked literally in the last few days. What do you think the state government should do and where are they really lacking?
No, definitely. None of us individually know everything about all the facts which is happening, like economic, our health, and our disease. So it is a responsibility of the ministry always to get into the words of wisdom for the elite group or the concerned people's group and accordingly adjust their ways. Unfortunately, the Kerala chief minister was very adamant in opening up the schools and opening up the relaxation. That is ending in today. 17,580 people and 138 deaths that's happening in the Kerala. That is almost 40% of the deaths and the cases in the India is there. India is a federal structure. We cannot allow one state to go on according to their whims and fancy. That is going to have an impact on the entire country. So that is why we are very vehement and we are very anxiously opposing that. That is, the government should now come forward, take strict measures to curtail these cases. There was right. India, one of the ministers was saying that we have capability to face. Yes, India has a capability to face up to 4 lakhs people, but that is not the question here. And what measure you are doing to prevent such cases happening? Continuously, there is 17,000, 16,000, and the TPR is today 13.6. That is not good for the country. That is what
right.
Indian Medical Association is asking for them to mend their ways.
And so you spoke of reopening of schools. Now, if you look at, of course, the government also, top government officials, in fact, the AIMS director as well, they are suggesting that we shall think of reopening schools in a calibrated manner. Perhaps open schools for now, see if the numbers rise, and if that happens, go back to online classes. What do you think about that? Do you think schools should remain shut for the time being?
No, now this is a time we need to exclusively plan for reopening of the school. If it can be done, it may not be for the en masse opening of the school. So if you have a school for the days, today, normally if the 5 days, if it is working, you have to convert it into a 2 days or 2.5 days working or 2 days for each section. let on the one day the first alternative schools coming, so that the 2 classrooms can be given for the same class, so that the adequate spacing and the masking if they are appropriately used, and that is going to be help us. What we need in that moment, that people should not come in crowds. If they come and sit with a gap of the 2 meter, and they wear the mask, and if they can strictly following the vaccination protocol, I think nothing harm on that. So instead of making the schools remain closed for a long time, which is always having a psychological impact on the students, we will only advise in a graded and sustained way the schools should be open, but let not it be for all the 5 days all the back students are coming. Let it be for 2 days. It is good enough for them, and they will have the hands-on. The rest they can have on the training. But now, what is again the problem in Kerala is that conducting offline exams, not much precaution. 500,000 students are coming into each college, and they are writing examinations. Yesterday, in the medical college, there is 40 students that become positive. So they need to be a little more cautious in a planned manner. No, all of that phenomena cannot be appropriate in this COVID era.
The IMA had promised full support to the government. I actually read your own interviews where you said it's a great drive. Certainly it is. But where do you see we are months from when the drive started? It doesn't look like, honestly, to many experts also, that we will be able to vaccinate the entire population of the country even by the end of the year. Massive shortages reported. What will be your reaction to that?
I tend to be an optimistic always, and as per our earlier path of assurance that IMA wants to proactively support the government in the vaccination, we are still on that. See, India has once proved that on June 21st, that 8.8 lakhs people were vaccinated. So that shows the average capacity of an India per day to be vaccinated. That means we have a capacity to even vaccinate up to 10 million people. That is the one component of the vaccination. The next component is that we need to have a supply. The vaccine has to be there. Today, with the consistent effort...
Sorry, I'm interrupting you. Where are we lacking? You rightly said that we have the capacity. We are the manufacturer of vaccines for the world. So where are we lacking? Why such a massive shortage?
We are lucky because we have the government machineries has not predicted in real sense and how they will be really go and augment the vaccine production. They were just depending upon 2 companies where they were producing the vaccine, which they have a limited capacity. They can instantly, they thought 2 million per day they will be producing. Now maximum probably they will be able to make 2.5 million or 3 million. That doesn't need to can bring out the 10 million need of this. See, we are taking so much of time in importing the Sputnik vaccine, though the permission is given more than 6 months, 60 days earlier. Still, we are not yet get the full supply. We are not yet clear of the Moderna and Pfizer. We are not yet clear the Zydus vaccine which is available. And other option of that, in Tamil Nadu, there is a big 900 crore vaccine unit is remain idle. So by this time, with the last 6 months, if the government is really interested, they should have worked some means and ways by which this vaccine production should have been augmented. Instead of that, they were just depending upon the 2 groups. And their potential is very, very less. Though today, the Honorable Minister says, another next July, August, we will have a 45 crores of vaccine. And I am a little skeptical about that. But we want to try to be with the government, uphold their hands, and try to see to that before 2021, we are reaching the target of vaccinating all our population. Come what it may, we still have time and we will definitely get more vaccine. And we are only now trying to prevent the vaccine hesitancy, and we are also trying to enforce the manpower. Once the supply chain is okay, we will rock on it.
Right, then fingers crossed, and I hope you're right. So 2 more questions before I let you go. One, when we speak of shortage of supply, we've seen a great tussle between the state and the center. Similar tussle played out when the center recently in the parliament said that no deaths because of oxygen shortage has been reported. That claim almost seems laughable. How would you react, one, to the politics happening around it, and also to the statement that there were no deaths which happened due to the shortage of oxygen?
Yeah, we have it normally, we say when you are jaundice, everything will look like a jaundice in your eyes. And that means it is not really what you are seeing, it is what is your mind. What the mind do not know, eyes will not see. So exactly that is happening to the Honorable Health Minister today. Probably he is believing in the heart that nobody should die with oxygen shortage. That is what he is seeing from his that
But
high
how?
research.
We all know there was a massive oxygen shortage.
Someone, if he says 1 + 1 is 2, instead of 1 + 1 is 2, someone says 1 + 1 is 3, then what you will call him?
Hmm.
The same thing is true with the Honorable Health Minister also. If there is every evidence there, even the court is saying, every newspapers, every media says it, there are a lot of people have died due to the oxygen. But he is able to say that no people have died. But cleverly he said he has not received any reports from the state. So in that way, he is absolutely right. That is none of it is not the blame on the center. It is none of the state government has given an official report that is so much of death is from the oxygen. So now in a strict sense, you cannot find fault with the Honorable Health Minister because he said none of the state has not given. So this is the most painful thing in this COVID era when 1,570 of our doctors has died. Unfortunately, none of the government has a data that so much of doctors has died. So
well, absolutely, and that was rather unfortunate, of course, and that's something which the IMA has been highlighting, and how you've been asking people to take precautions because it's really the frontline workers who are suffering when we have a lackadaisical attitude. So, last question: when we are speaking of the third wave, and I'm going to bring you full circle, take you back where I started. Dr. Guleria says that third wave is going to come in August. Then you have the ICMR, which says third wave is already here. You have foreign experts, scientists, who say third wave is inevitable, but we can still avoid it. Where will you say India is? I know you've said it many times that third wave is impending, but has it come already?
No, I will not agree with the total prediction that the third wave is going to be a disastrous effect, but I am confident that third wave will come. Third wave is inevitable in our country. We are imminently expecting the third wave. But the way in which we have gone through with the vaccination, we have gone through with the COVID appropriate behaviors and the natural immunity which is prevailing in our own people. What the recent study of the ICMR showing already the 67% of our people have already zero positivity is there. So all this shows, though there is a third wave is going to come, it is not going to be a disastrous one like what we had in the second wave. It was such a rapid increase and growth. But my expectation is somewhere around the maximum peak will reach up to the only 2 to 2.5 lakhs, not the projected 4 or 4.5 lakhs per day. We will not be able to. We will not be reaching. So that and today the death rate also, mortality rate also will be very much come down because now we have augmented our infrastructure qualitatively and quantitatively. We have increased the manpower and all the resource material needed for the drugs like oxygen and remdesivir. Everything is getting ready. So when you are well prepared to face something, I think you will be able to face it. So nothing too much to be worried.
Do you think we are well prepared? Do you think we're well prepared? Because in the second wave, certainly it did look like the entire system was caught by surprise.
No, comparing with the second wave, we are third wave, we are well prepared. We are indeed, it's all prepared comes with our experience also. What too bitter experience has always make you a wise man. And now today, we know where we have faltered and where was the gaps we had. And that all that gaps has been filled up, the gap has been played. Now, unless the virus was so arrogant with us and it is getting so much of mutation and coming in an entirely different form, and we are safe, so we will be sailing safe through the third wave.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. That was Dr. Shreya Lal, IMA chief. Of course, as far as the third wave is concerned, it's impending. Viewers, do remember, wear your masks, take all the precaution. It really is the health line workers who are putting their lives at risk to safeguard us. Let's save them by keeping ourselves safe. Thank you for watching.
I must compliment Meenakshi Upreti. I must compliment Meenakshi Upreti for your excellent way of interview with you.
Thank you, sir. It's all because of you. You are the one who has all the knowledge. We are just partaking some of it. Thank you for joining us. Do subscribe to Medically Speaking. All of this will be uploaded fully on YouTube and watch the show on NewsX. Thank you.